Hey everyone, welcome to week 8 of the college football season. It's amazing to think that the football season is already about halfway over, even when some conferences are just getting started this week and next week, including the Big Ten. So a lot more games to start looking at, a lot more games to choose from for my picks, so that's a good thing. Let's see if I can improve on my 5-4 record from last week. There were a couple struggles, including I picked Tennessee. Kentucky came out with a big win against them, so I'm wearing my Kentucky shirt today to celebrate that win for them last week. Let's get started with this week's picks. We have a couple of Friday night games that we're going to start off with. Our first Friday night game is a Big Ten matchup. We have Illinois traveling to number 14 Wisconsin. I think this will actually be a pretty good matchup for a first game of the season for the Big Ten. Illinois is a team that you don't really think of as being a powerhouse, but at the end of last season, they really started coming on, and I think they're going to be competitive throughout the Big Ten season. Now, I still don't think they're going to have enough to beat a ranked team like Wisconsin, but look out for Illinois to pull out a couple of upsets before the season is over. Not this week, though. 14th ranked Wisconsin will win over Illinois in Big Ten play. Our next Friday night game is a Sun Belt, Fun Belt matchup. We have Louisiana traveling to UAB. Both of these teams only have one loss on the season. Louisiana's came last week in an upset I actually picked, where Coastal Carolina pulled off the win over Louisiana. So Louisiana fell from the ranks of the top 25 last week. They're traveling to a good UAB team. I think this is going to be a very good matchup, but I think Louisiana is going to want to bounce back from that loss, and I think they will this week. I have Louisiana winning over UAB and Sunbelt play. Next, let's move to our Saturday matchups. I think the next game will be another great game. It's between two ranked teams. You have 23rd ranked North Carolina State traveling to 14th ranked North Carolina. Yes, I didn't say that wrong. There were two 14th ranked teams this week as Wisconsin and North Carolina tied. But North Carolina is coming off their first loss of the season last week. They're going to want to bounce back really well this week. I think they will. North Carolina State is a very good team, but I just don't think they have enough to match up with North Carolina. I have 14th ranked North Carolina winning over 23rd ranked North Carolina State. Next, let's go to our only SEC matchup in this week's picks. We have Auburn traveling to Ole Miss. These are two teams that you don't know what you're going to get. Ole Miss played really well against Alabama, then got blown out to Arkansas. On the flip side, Auburn did beat Arkansas, but probably shouldn't have. So what's going to happen in this one? This is one where there's really no expectations on Auburn. And in these types of matchups, those are the matchups that Auburn loves to play and always plays really well in. So I think Auburn's going to go in and play really well in this game and pull off the win over Ole Miss. I have Auburn winning at Ole Miss in SEC play. Next, let's go to a interesting matchup in Conference USA. We have Florida Atlantic traveling to 22nd ranked Marshall. Both of these teams are undefeated, but there's a little difference because Florida Atlantic has only played one game so far this year, while Marshall is 4-0. Because of that, Marshall has all experience. They know how to play week in and week out. Florida Atlantic just has a huge break between games for them. I think that's going to be to their hindrance. So in this game, I have Marshall winning and winning pretty easily. 22nd ranked Marshall will win over Florida Atlantic in Conference USA play. Next, let's go to a Big 12 matchup, and I'm just picking this matchup because it really intrigues me. We have Baylor traveling to Texas. Who knows what the state of Texas is so far this week after losing two straight matchups, trying to come back against TCU, trying to come back against Oklahoma. Has Texas lost their locker room is the big question. Baylor, on the other hand, who knows what they're going to do. They've only played 2 games and they're 1-1 in those matchups. I think Texas has to come in and win this game if they want to salvage any part of their season. So because of that, I think they will do it. I think it will be a close game. Texas will find a way to win in the end. I have Texas winning over Baylor in Big 12 play. Excuse me. Next, let's go to another conference that's just getting started this week. We have Utah State traveling to Boise State. You never know what's going to happen in these matchups when it's the first game of the season for two teams. Both of these teams should be really good this year. Both of them should be really competitive in the Mountain West. In this type of situation, I'm going to go with the home team. Again, the home team doesn't really mean as much this year, but I think Boise State will find a way to come in and win this game. Elements I've heard might come into play this week with possibly some winter weather in Boise. We'll see how that plays out. But in the end, I think that Boise State will pull out the win. Boise State will win over Utah State. Next, let's go to another Big Ten matchup. This is probably the main Big Ten matchup of this week. We have 18th ranked Michigan traveling to 21st ranked Minnesota. It's the same thing. You never know what's going to happen in the first game of the year. Minnesota had a great season last year. They didn't lose it till the very end. Michigan always seems that they have a monkey in the back that they need to try to get off. In this case, again, I'm going to go with the home team. Again, who knows what that really means this year. But I think Minnesota has a little bit more to play for. Michigan always seems to kind of struggle in these types of matchups. So because of that, I'm picking Minnesota. 21st ranked Minnesota over 18th ranked Michigan in Big Ten play. Next, let's go to another Big 12 matchup. I think this is going to be another great game. We have 17th ranked Iowa State traveling to 6th ranked Oklahoma State. After Iowa State lost their first game of the season to Louisiana, they have looked really well over the past 2 to 3 weeks. They came back against Oklahoma. They had a blowout win against Texas Tech. Oklahoma State on the flip side hasn't played in a couple weeks. They were supposed to play Baylor. That game got postponed. So because of that, I think Iowa State's actually going to have a little bit more momentum this week. I think they're going to be able to pull off the win over Oklahoma State. I have 17th ranked Iowa State winning over 6th ranked Oklahoma State in Big 12 play. Now let's go to our final matchup. In the American, I think this is going to be an amazing matchup. I think this will be the game of the week, even though it's not in a Power 5 conference. We have 9th ranked Cincinnati traveling to 16th ranked SMU. Both of these teams are undefeated. Cincinnati's game against Tulsa, which I thought would be a great matchup last week, got postponed. SMU pulled off an upset win, not an upset win, but pulled off what would have been an upset loss to Tulane last week by winning on a field goal in overtime. Cincinnati, I'm just all in on so far this season. Cincinnati has struggled to win a couple of their games. Because of that, I think Cincinnati will win this game this week as well. Cincinnati, 9th ranked, will travel to 16th ranked SMU and pull off the win this week in American play. Again, several ranked-on-ranked matchups this week, both in the Big 10 and the Big 12 and the American. I think it's going to be a great week of college football. So go check out the games, check out the new conferences that are coming in. I believe the Pac-12 starts playing next week as well, so even more games coming into play. Don't forget to go and check out my website, cfbroadtrip.com. Read about my trip to Montana a couple of weeks ago. Both of my blogs are out there now. Have a great week. Go enjoy the games. We'll see you again next week.